Parashat Vayigash, by the way, is my bar mitzvah parsha. We reach the crescendo, right? The dramatic, happily ever after ending. Yosef reunites with his brothers. He reveals himself thanks to the most powerful speech in Jewish, perhaps world history, given by Yehuda, right? Bibi Netanyahu, Winston Churchill, eat your heart out. You want to learn how to give a speech? Yehuda's speech at the start of Vayigash is the place to learn. However, there's something I found rather disturbing about Vayigash. Last week and in recent weeks we've been talking about the different models that Yosef as opposed to Yehuda represent. Yosef is the tzaddik. Yosef is divine providence. Yosef symbolizes the man who has no free will and basically moves along with God's will. Whereas Yehuda represents the Baal Tshuva, the person that can make mistakes and has free will to correct them. And the peak of this is in this week's Torah portion. We see, Yehuda really is kind of like the hero of the story, if you like. However, something disturbing happens in Vayigash, and that is after Yehuda's great speech, we no longer hear a word from the brothers or from Yehuda. They all become silenced, and the main characters, the main triangle in Vayigash is Yosef, Yaakov, and Paro. It's about the reunion between a father and his beloved son, and the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, and that's it. And one begs to ask, you can't not be disturbed by, what about this powerful crescendo that Yehuda led to, the process he went through to become a Baal Tshuva, to amend, to fix things, and then powerfully impact on Yosef? It's as if it disappears, right? It's disturbing. Rashi saves the day, right? Probably the greatest commentator, Jewish commentator in history. He notices one verse that teaches us the fundamental role that Yehuda receives for his actions. So when Yaakov is on his way down to Egypt, just before he's preparing, he tells Yehuda, you go first, right? You clearly are a suave operator. Go and lehorot is the word in Hebrew. Go tell everybody what needs to happen in Egypt, until I arrive. However, Rashi notices that lehorot, right, to tell people what to do, can also mean to educate. And Rashi says, according to a midrash, what in fact Yaakov is telling Yehuda is, I want you, not Yosef, I want you to open the first Jewish school, in fact in the world, but in the diaspora in Egypt. You, Yehuda, am I a Jewish educator? I want you to run the school. Now this is huge, because one would expect it to be Yosef, right? Yosef is the tzaddik, he is the Rebbe. Shouldn't the Rebbe be in charge of the? No. Yaakov is saying, I want you, Yehuda, to be the key influencer for Jewish education from this point on. And this is perhaps why King David comes from Yehuda and other such, great people from Shevet Yehuda, because in fact Yaakov, and this is thanks to Rashi's subtle picking up of the word Lehorot, understands that in fact Yaakov realizes that Yehuda is the one we should be learning from. He is the subtle, perhaps unspoken, but undoubtable hero of Vayigash and of perhaps Bereshis. As we enter into Egypt and to the bad that's coming along, we need the best educator we can get for Jewish history, and that is Yehuda, a person who proves that no matter how low you can go, you can rise. And oh wow, how much does Yehuda rise? I don't know anyone whose actions or words are more impressive than Yehuda, the first Jewish educator, the first principal of a Jewish school in the world and for sure abroad. Yehuda. Thoughts on Vayigash? Shabbat Shalom.